What's up, everybody? Alright, so I'm going to recap some stuff so I don't have to use my iPhone footage, just so I don't have to listen to you complain. Certain people. Anyways, so here's what we've got done so far. This is all in place. You can see it does fit. There's a little gap when it clamps on there. It'll be good. This still has a very beautiful fit. The oil lines are done all the way to the side of the block. I don't know if I'll be able to see it very well. Kind of tucked in there, but there's a fitting off there. The return lines are done. I just went and bought some hardware to bolt the turbo down properly. We're going to put a gasket and all that stuff in. And then I am going to remove the feed line, put it in a bottle, crank it over, make sure it's getting oil pressure, make sure that it flushes out anything that might be in the lines or anything like that was in the fittings, anything, so we're not pushing crap through the turbo before actually starting up. The alternator's mounted, it's wired, everything's there, that's good. This now clears. You can see we have lots of lovely clearance. Everything's bolted in place where it should be now, so I'm gonna get to work on getting this all situated, and then we're gonna see if it'll spin. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I'm going to temporarily bolt this on so that we have at least flow, so it's not just dumping right out here. It'll come out the fender like it's supposed to, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to get things tightened up, double check it all, and then the next clip will be the startup with the turbo. Alright, let's see if she'll fire up and have oil pressure to the turbo. Oh my goodness. Well, I'd say we got a leak. Oh, time to fix that. Alright, let's try this again. I think I got everything sorted out. I'm going to put a rag down just in case. Got a bucket under the return line. I think it's all sorted. I had to change the drain line fitting from the turbo. The one I had was a little short, so it was a little tough getting up on the return line fitting, so I think that was part of our problem there. And then the return line at the pan was dripping a little bit, and I think it was just with how many other fittings I have there, it just a cumulative buildup of not being quite tight enough. So I went through all those, should be all set there. There's a bucket under there, there's a towel there, and we're going to try and see if we get leak free. I really should put the seat back in because this is not fun with no seat. I can't see a darn thing. You know what? I'm going to sit on a roll cage to see if that helps. Ignition. Fuel pump. Alright, quick start. Check for drippage. I don't want to have this thing kick out a ton of oil dry. It does not appear like the return fitting is leaking at all, so let's do a real start. Started out pretty good considering nothing's really programmed for this. So, ignition, fuel. Sweet. All right. Looks good to me. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for this week. We made turbo noises. Obviously, it's not really going to spool very well, and it's not going to RPM too well because it's trying to register. The O2 sensor actually was hooked up for that, so that probably had something to do with it. And I don't start the car every day. So the TPS setup is probably off a little bit. I didn't bother bringing the laptop out to check it. Next week, during the week, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to measure for a belt, get the alternator hooked up, start it, verify that it's charging the system properly after wiring in the resistor and all that fun stuff. And then I'm going to tackle that big thing right there. That's the next project. Because once that's all welded, welding-wise, the only thing left is the water system, which I will get to. I'm procrastinating because it's aluminum and I hadn't welded aluminum. And even longer than I haven't welded steel, so I'm being a slacker. I'm being straight up. So, and then once all the fab work is done, we'll take care of the brakes, and we will get this thing all set. Charge pipe has to be made, obviously. I just got to order a piece of pipe. Probably going to do like a 3-inch pipe to a 3.5-inch bell, and have a 3.5-inch coupler here, a 3-inch straight coupler there, and that'll be that, and that'll take care of the charge pipe. Blow-off valve will be closer to the turbo than to the throttle body, so that we can wire in the water meth and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Little Red makes turbo noises, and the turbo is permanently attached, not going anywhere. The only thing I have to do is actually tighten down, fully tighten some of these V-bands. They're in place just so stuff wasn't leaking too bad. Make sure the turbo is going to spin, and but those just going to be snugged up. The ones on the housings are both tight, but the one for the downpipe obviously is not tight because I still have to weld it. So I just put it on there so it wouldn't fly off and damage anything. But all right, as always, comment, like, share, subscribe, and get up and get after it.